Hello, everybody. I'm Adam Tobin, and the company I chose to look into was Steve Madden and Steve Madden Ltd. I looked at the podcast, how I built this. So, Steve Madden, he was from Long Island, New York. He was an avid reader when he was young, especially in material relating to entrepreneurs. His father worked in the textile industry. He had an entrepreneurial, I, you know, identity, but he never was wealthy. Um, and Steve, he ended up working at age 16 at a shoe store called Toulouse. And he said that he loved selling things, but what he really loved was selling things that he created. Um, Steve, he tried college at the University of Miami. I think he was only there about 18 months. He realized that it wasn't for him, and he said he was very grateful that his father said he wasn't going to pay for his college education anymore, and he ended up back in Long Island. Um, he did a job just being a seller of shoes at another department store. And then eventually he ended up working for his old boss, Lance, the one that owned Toulouse. But now it was in a different position. So they did very well together. They ended up blowing up that company pretty well. And then that's pretty much all Steve did. He just worked long hours, and he ended up getting really bad on drugs and alcohol. And it wasn't until really Steve got sober that he launched his own company. Um, what he did was he designed and he sold designer shoes. He started out, he borrowed money from friends, and that's when he manufactured and designed shoes, pump shoes, and went around and sold them to the contacts that he had gained in his previous career. And he did pretty good expanding. So he felt like there was a market that was underserved as far as teenagers, and the value proposition was to bring trendy designs to customers at affordable prices. Um, so Steve Madden Ltd has identified different things such as like community engagement, workplace health and safety as essential to their business. They also are committed to carbon footprint reduction. Um, so the main challenge that Steve Madden faced was when Steve Madden, the owner, he went to prison for stock manipulation, securities fraud, and money laundering. Um, Steve said that this experience helped him become humble, and he used it as a time to grow and develop. Um, but as a result of this, he came out a different person, and he realized that he wasn't best suited for CEO, and he hired good people to run the company. So when he went to prison, they were doing very well. Um, and then when they came out, he just kind of focused on what he was good at and helped the company grow even more from that point. Um, I would have to say the key moment in his business was when it initially started, when he had the desire to go out on his own. He didn't want to work for anybody else. He ended up borrowing money from friends, and that's when he made his own designs, and he would go to the different stores and sell his brand. Um, it started as a different name, but eventually he branded his product Steve Madden. He just felt like it was natural. Um, and so I think that one of the key takeaways that I see from the disposition of Steve Madden as a person was his willingness to recognize his weaknesses and hire talent for those duties such as he realized that he wasn't the type of person that could be CEO. So he hired talent to do the C-suite and the different things that he wasn't good at. And he recognized his strengths, and so he could focus on those things, designing shoes and selling the shoes, rather than focusing on other duties that he wasn't really good at. So that was my key takeaway in his willingness to always learn from his mistakes and not really make the mistakes, but make them lessons as he moved forward. And that's all I got.